Hey, Black, how are you? I'm good. How are you?
I feel like I'm in deja vu. We're here
Yeah.
again. I feel like we was just here. We're here again. All right, we're back with S&T. S&T, I understand that they're redistricting the 11th district. What's that about? What's going on?
The way that the Republicans have drawn the lines in Ohio and also across the country, but let's stick with Ohio, does not represent the will of the voters in this state. They have skewed it to ensure that they always have a majority, both in the Congress and also in the legislature. So I totally agree with what the Ohio Supreme Court has said. So because of that, we are waiting both on our legislative lines and also our congressional lines. What I do know, though, that Cleveland will be kept whole in this process. So Cleveland will be the anchor of the new 11th congressional district, no matter what the lines look like. But we're going through this. But you may have seen an article about Alabama by way of example, because I want your viewers to know this is not just an Ohio thing. That the United States Supreme Court ruled that the way they drew those lines were wrong, but they're gonna let them roll with them anyway. And we have a problem. That's a problem.
How does that impact the race going forward? Is that gonna be good for your campaign, or how's that come out?
Well, I hope, and forgive me for not sounding like a politician when I answer this. I hope it works out for the voters.
Oh,
The lines are drawn fairly, so that it is a reflection of the will of the voters, or at least people get a chance to have their will reflected in how they vote. That is my ultimate hope. And that's why when I had a chance to vote on those lines the last time they were drawn, about 12 years ago, I voted no on those lines because they were not a good reflection and they did a disservice to the constituents. Certainly having Cleveland all in one district is good for Cleveland. No doubt it's good for Cleveland. It's also good for me. This is my hometown, and I've served this community for a very long time, born and raised here. And actually, during the last election, the special election, I won Cleveland. I won working class whites, blacks, and Latinx people in the city of Cleveland.
yes, I know. I know. I am very much
You were,
aware of that.
yeah,
Yeah,
you were on the ground with me, you and the family, and I appreciate that. We'll never forget it. Thank you.
absolutely, absolutely. Of course, I'm biased. Everyone knows I'm a big time supporter of your campaign. But that's because your politics is the
Yeah.
politics that I embrace, that I also share. There are some things about Cleveland I think people need to know. Reasons why I'm so supportive of your campaign. My understanding is Cleveland is one of the poorest cities in the country.
It is the poorest city of its size in the country. I think Detroit might be second, but we are number one. This is an area I don't want Cleveland to be number one in. And it's going to take a lot of work to turn that around. And it's not just who's in Congress, but it's also who is on the city council, who the mayor is, what's happening in the greater Cleveland area also impacts Cleveland proper. What type of work will be done, both from a political standpoint, civic standpoint. Everybody got a role to play, Black, in lifting up the great city of Cleveland. It is not a good place to be. However, the congressional seat holds a lot of sway, and this community needs a champion. They need a fighter. They don't need somebody who's just going to go along to get along or happens to vote the right way if it's popular enough. They need somebody that's going to put something on the line to fight to change their material conditions, and I am that person.
So when will this be finalized? When will they have come to their decision about exactly what the lines are? I want people to be excited about this. When does that date come up?
Oh, like the Ohio Supreme Court. I keep making a distinction so people know the Ohio Supreme Court gave the legislature 30 days. That
Oh,
was
okay.
almost 30 days ago. So
Okay.
they are soon. I hope they have to do it soon. The petitions have to be in March, and election day is on March the 3rd. So they don't have a whole lot of time. The legislature doesn't have a whole lot of time to comply with the Ohio Supreme Court. So that hopefully it will happen soon.
March 3rd? Right around the corner. It's right around
I'm
the
sorry,
corner.
May. If I said March, I meant May. Did I say
May.
March?
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. No, I said signatures are due. Signatures are due to get on the ballot in March,
Okay, gotcha.
and the special and the election, which is a normal election cycle, not the special, not a special, but the
Right.
primary is on May the 3rd. For now, I mean that could change. Like that could change too because of what is happening with the lines. But as of now, primary election date in Ohio is May the 3rd.
I've been trying to tell people that this special election is a different animal.
Yes.
And what we're going into now is a whole different situation. And I want people to be inspired about it and feel positive about this, because I do believe it's going to impact the race. I think more people are going to come out. Nina, you mind telling people the difference between a special election and a general primary, a standard primary election?
Yeah, thank you for that. Because especially the special election that I ran in last year, it was the only election in the nation going on at that time. And the reason why we had to have a special election because the Honorable Marcia Fudge was appointed to become the Secretary of HUD. And by the time she was nominated, and then by the time the Senate voted on it, the Ohio Constitution is very prescriptive about how many days and what the dates have to be. And so by the time the governor had the opportunity to set a date, because there had to be a vacancy before you could set the date, it landed on the election day being in August, which is not a good time for anybody, but especially not a good time for younger people or for voters who may not necessarily be paying attention. And so that did a disservice to, or that made it more complicated. That makes a race more complicated. This time around, it's not a special election. It is the regular election cycle. 435 members of the House of Representatives are up. And then we have senators that are up as well. And in Ohio, all of our constitutional offices are up. What do you mean by constitutional offices? I'm glad you asked. It is the governor, the attorney general, the auditor, the treasurer, and the secretary of state. Plus, Black, we have one U.S. Senate race on the ballot too. So that's going to draw out more people to actually vote in this election. And then we will have the benefit of being able to talk to more young people, especially the young people who go to college, because not all young people go to college. That's what I'm saying, especially the young people who go to college, because we have them all in one concentrated place, and they will be able to weigh in this time. They weren't able to really weigh in to the same weight that I think they're going to be able to weigh in this time.
Absolutely. I mean,
so regular election cycle, but like that was just a long way for me to say that 2022 is the regular election cycle for members of the House of Representatives.
So let's go to policy. And if you don't mind, what are some of the policies that are impacting Ohio residents that you're focusing on?
Well, we certainly need an increase in the minimum wage, as other people in this country do. We need a living wage. As you and I were talking about earlier, Cleveland's status as being the poorest city of its size in the country, that means not only do we need a minimum wage increase, we need more jobs that people are able to, types of jobs that give people the opportunity to be able to really take care of themselves and their families. People in Cleveland or greater Cleveland would certainly benefit from paid family and medical leave. Yes. They would benefit from Medicare for all. And especially in the face of this pandemic, Black, they would benefit from not having the child tax credit expire. Having that child tax credit allows for more money to come in households, and also would allow people to be able to do other things that they might not be able to do, and to have that taken from them. You gave it to them and now you're taking it away. Right. It makes no sense. Canceling student debt would help people in the greater Cleveland area. So Black, all of those things that would help the poor, the working poor, and the barely middle class in general in this country are the same things that would help the people who live in greater Cleveland. The reasons that motivated me to run last time are still the reasons that motivate me to run this time. People are catching hell and they need a fighter. Somebody not just to fight for them, but to fight with them. Side by side, fighting to change their material conditions. And that's why Sister Turner, that's why I'm running again. That's why Sister Turner is running again. You know, the mission remains the same.
Nothing's changed. It's still the same.
Nothing's
we still
changed.
have the same issues. So still, minimum wage, Medicare for all, reparations is still something on your agenda,
Yes,
correct?
Absolutely. That ain't going nowhere.
Reparations is still on your agenda, right, Nina?
Still on my agenda, is not going anywhere. You know how during Black History Month we sorry to cut you off. For me, you know, I make more of a conscious effort to look at certain documentaries. You know, we don't want to forget nothing. So Black History Month, an extra effort to watch these documentaries. And Black, I was just watching Black Wall Street this morning, you know, as I was, and it just, you know, absolutely brought tears to my eyes. Yes. So yeah, that was to remind me that the mission stays the same. It has not changed. Yes, definitely reparations. And it also made me think about Black, and you remember this, when the elders who are still living, there are over 100, there are three of them, they went and testified before Congress, but Congress didn't say, you deserve reparations. All they did was nod and smile and,
Yeah.
yeah. But how about making sure global reparations for the American descendants of slaves? I'll put that out there. But if they wanted to get the ball started,
Right,
they could do that.
There you go.
By making up for what happened in Greenwood. But no, none of that. And many of those elders, well, all of their descendants are right there. You guys, 104, I think. Somebody was 106, somebody was 100. And Black, it made no sense to have them come and testify when y'all wasn't going to do anything material for those people. They deserve that. And I think by today's standards, it was like over $200 million for sure would be owed to those elders and also to their descendants who suffered that terrorist attack, that white terrorist attack.
Well, I'm glad you cleared that up for anybody who has questions about it. I know, I'm one of those people that speak up on your behalf whenever it comes up. Paid family leave. Oh, that Build Back Better plan. The efforts for that. I saw an interview about this, and it was a little bit. I'm not sure where that was going, but are there some things other than that child credit that are important in that plan? You think?
Yeah, I mean, I just saw the first lady was saying that they're not going to do the community college, the 2-year free college. Come on. And this is not her fault. I mean, she's not the one elected, but she taught at a 2-year institution, I believe at a community college, Dr. Biden, but she delivered that message. Like, again, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense not to make the requisite investment in making sure that 2-year colleges are tuition free, that nobody has to pay tuition. To me, it's an extension of the social contract for education itself. There was a point in time where only certain people could get an education with K through 12. That was expanded. We have a social contract in this country. Our tax dollars are invested to ensure that our children get a K through 12 education. We need a paradigm shift and make that pre-K to college. And what better way to start that is pre-K to 2-year.
Yes.
Tax dollars invested so that people can go to school beyond the 12th grade. And they're not doing it.
They're not doing
It's less than that Pentagon budget they just passed in a bipartisan way. But they make every excuse. Why does it, when it comes to the working people, or as my dear friend would say, the workaday people, Jim Hightower from the great state of Texas calls it the workaday people. Why when it, like, I'm trying to understand this. Maybe you can help me. Why when it comes to the workaday people of this country, we got every single excuse under the sun. But when it came to bailing out Wall Street, we were told it must be done or else. The bank's too big to fail, all of this in the same, it must be done. How about saying it must be done that we have tuition-free public colleges and universities, but at least the 2-year institution, we can work on the other, but at least, why can't we say that the American people are too big to fail?
That's right.
That paid family medical leave, too big to fail. To decrease the cost of prescription drugs, too big to fail the American people on that. Having Medicare for all, the American people, we're too big. The American people are too big to fail on that. Black, help me understand.
Big money interest as always. Gotta get that money out of politics. That's the only way I can see it. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I can't imagine everyone's a sellout. It's got to be money interest involved. That's how I see it.
The owner donors.
The owner donor class. Well, look, Nina, keep me up to date. I'm on your mailing list as things proceed so I can keep track and update the crew to what's happening. But thank you for taking time out, sister. Anything I left out other than to go to NinaTurner.com to be a part of this race?
There it is, Black. You took the words right out of my mouth. Please go to NinaTurner.com. Your time, your talent, and your treasure. One or two of those things, all three, or just one. We welcome you to be on this justice journey with us. And Black, thank you so much. And to all of your viewers, thank you.
You got it. Thank you. Folks, that's it. I'll see you on the next one.